I've always had a fascination with getting old computers and consoles online, and the Sega Dreamcast is no exception. With a dial-up connection, an ISP, and one of many compatible online games, you could connect up to SegaNet and have a lot of fun. You could even surf the web with one of many different browsers for the Dreamcast, such as Web Browser 2.0. The Sega Dreamcast certainly wasn't the first console to have online connectivity, but it was the first console with a built-in modem right out of the box. Before the Dreamcast, most consoles required add-ons that provided limited online support. With the Dreamcast, Sega was looking to revolutionize the industry with SegaNet, its online service. This was Xbox Live before there was even Xbox Live.
Jack into SegaNet through your Dreamcast console and join your countrymen in the virtual arena. Play NFL 2K1 and cream for meatheads you've never even met.
SegaNet was launched 22 years ago in 1996 when the Sega Saturn was the current generation console at the time, but lasted only 4 years after being discontinued in September of 2000. The side effect of the demise of SegaNet meant that much of the Dreamcast online gaming catalogue, such as Phantasy Star Online 1 and 2, Quake 3, Unreal Tournament, Choo Choo Rocket, and many others, would need to resort to offline or single-player mode only. Furthermore, dial-up modem technology was made obsolete by Broadband Ethernet, and the modem on the Dreamcast has become a relic of its time. Sega also released a Broadband Adapter for the Dreamcast that could provide a 10 megabit per second connection, and later revisions supported 10 and 100 megabits per second, but these are rare and expensive. Furthermore, they only work with a handful of games that supported the Broadband Adapter itself. So, what if you wanted to get your Dreamcast back online in 2018? What would that look like? Typically, your only option is to utilize a broadband adapter. Now, as we know, they're very expensive and they're very rare, and they're quite cost prohibitive, especially if you're only wanting to play a couple of games of Quake 3 or Phantasy Star Online, for example. However, there is another way, and that's by utilizing something called a DreamPi. A DreamPi essentially is a Raspberry Pi with a custom piece of software, and this in turn allows you to connect your Dreamcast up to online games and play multiplayer games online. Let's go ahead and take a look. So the DreamPi is an ingenious way of getting your Dreamcast back online. It comes with a Raspberry Pi complete with DreamPi image that has all the software installed, a USB modem, and a phone cable. Let's set all this up and see how well it works. Now, of course, it goes without saying that you need a working Dreamcast system complete with the modem connected to it, and although optional, I also recommend a Dreamcast keyboard and mouse for the best user experience. So what we want to do is plug the USB modem into a free USB port on the Raspberry Pi, and then plug one end of the phone cable into the USB modem, and then the other end into the Dreamcast modem. Finally, we plug in the Ethernet cable into the Raspberry Pi, and the other end goes into the router for your outbound internet connection. Next, we plug in power to the Raspberry Pi and wait for the two green lights on the USB modems to light up. Once that's done, we're ready to bring our Dreamcast online. We need to configure the networking. In order to do this, you need a copy of a Dreamcast web browser such as PlanetWeb, DreamKey 3, or Web Browser 2. I picked up this Web Browser 2.0 disc, brand new from Goodwill, for $1 about 5 years ago. Good thing I kept it. If you have a North American copy of Quake 3, you can also use this to configure your internet connection. With Web Browser 2.0, wait for the disk to stop loading, then select Pop-up menu and then go to Options. From there, select Internet Connection. In the Basic Info tab, you can provide any real name. For the username, type in Dream and the password is Dreamcast. For the dial-up number, enter 1111111. For the primary and secondary DNS entries, use 0.0.0.0 and then leave everything else as is. Just select the defaults and then save this configuration. It's interesting to note that the internet configuration is not saved onto the memory card. It's actually stored in the Dreamcast's internal memory. Now let's connect and let the modem do its thing. After about 15 to 20 seconds, you should be connected and you're all set to go. Let's do some web browsing. It's fair to say that web browsing on the Dreamcast is barely usable in 2018. Not only is it quite slow since we are connected to a modem, the browser itself is very limited in terms of Cascade style sheets and JavaScript support. There's also no support for HTML5 or WebKit stuff either, but it's kinda cool surfing around for a while. A Google search on yours truly seems to work and even displays Google images, but no modern sites like Facebook and YouTube actually load. They just return URL errors. Only the simplest of websites would load on the Dreamcast, but it still has its use for downloading VMU images and such, which does work. The Dreamcast homebrew community is very active these days, and a modern open source browser ported to the Dreamcast would be great to see, because apart from the obsolete browser itself, the user experience is quite good. The Dreamcast keyboard makes a big difference here too. Bummer that the web browser too doesn't support the mouse. That would also be a nice touch. So yeah, cool. Browsing the web in 2018 on a Sega Dreamcast. Who would have thought? Okay, I get it. It's fun for about 10 minutes. So let's get to the main course, playing games online. Quake 3 on the Dreamcast is a great port of the original game, and the online multiplayer is really slick. I was able to connect easily to games and play as if I would if I was playing through a regular network adapter. The DreamPi really shines with online gaming. I did notice some lag and stutters during gameplay on occasion, but you gotta remember it's essentially a 33.6 kilobits per second dial-up connection. I was only able to play online with bots however. No one else was around, but the DreamPi community regularly schedules weekly Quake 3 multiplayer party events on their website that you can participate in. That sounds like fun. If there's one reason to get your Dreamcast back on the internet, it's this, Phantasy Star Online, the first ever console-based MMO released by the Sonic team for the Sega Dreamcast in 2000. Although Sega shut down its servers for this game many years ago, it still can be played online through private servers, and the DreamPi has no trouble playing this game. I gotta say, I loved playing this game back in the day, and I could easily see myself leveling up another character and playing all over again. It's that good. Just like Quake 3, there is an active community that still plays this game online, and there is a regular weekly schedule if you're interested in checking it out. If we look at the compatibility list for the DreamPi, we can see that it doesn't support every single online multiplayer game at this time. As of early 2018, about 16 titles are supported, but because the software is in active development, more games are being tested and fixed, with the ultimate goal supporting the entire library of Dreamcast online games. Another really cool feature of owning a DreamPi is the software is able to recognize who you are and what game you are playing. And there's a website called Dreamcast.online that lists all DreamPi users, who's currently online and what they are playing. Right now this community is small, but growing all the time. So, if you used to play online on your Dreamcast back in the day, or want to experience online gaming with the Dreamcast for the first time, and not have to worry about network infrastructures and paywalls of today's modern online services, then check out the DreamPi. It's a nice piece of kit indeed. Well, alright guys, that'll do it for this video. Let me know what you thought about it in the comments below. Is the DreamPi something that you're interested in? Do you want to get your Dreamcast back online in 2018? Is this just a little bit of nostalgia and nothing more? Let me know in the comments below what your thoughts are. I think the DreamPi is really cool, and I do like the community around it so far, and I love the fact that it's being supported in 2018, as well as the online schedule where you can go and sign up and play with other people online at different parts of the week and different times of the day. I think it's a really cool community, and it's only going to continue to grow, and having that ability to connect my Dreamcast online anytime I want is a cool thing, especially in this day and age where I don't have to worry about ISP connection costs and things like that, modem dropouts and anything like that. This thing just works out of the box. It's a good solution. I definitely recommend checking it out if you're interested. So that's all for this video, guys. I hope you enjoyed it. Let me know again in the comments below what you thought about it. As always, don't forget to like and subscribe, and I'll catch you guys in the next video. Bye for now.